Hi everybody, I'm here to explain your assignment number 1, local story. This assignment is due on the day specified on the assignment sheet, of course, so please check it. I'm not going to say it on the video in case it creates any confusion. The topic I gave a topic to everyone. It will be again specified on the assignment sheet, but the length of the story is 500 words. So as promised, here's a video to explain how to make it. First of all, I'm asking you to use the inverted pyramid structure. How does that work? An inverted pyramid is a structure where you begin with a lead, L-E-D-E, not to confuse with lead, L-E-A-D, which is also the spelling of the word lead. So we spell it L-E-D-E to separate it from the metal lead, which is frequently used in newspaper printing, or was before this new technology came up. So the lead is a short 25 to 30 word couple of sentences, maybe a short paragraph. It may actually include a little bit of a quote if you feel that it belongs there, the quote belongs there. So the lead needs to summarize the most important information in the story, answering the questions who, what, when, where, why, and how. So please refer to the book chapters of the Missouri group. See how we structure the information. Tell everything from the very beginning, give us the gist of the story, and then with each paragraph, unwind a little bit of the detail, explain a little bit of the detail. We did conduct a writing exercise which helped you understand the structure of a lead, how to come up with a lead. And in that exercise, we were asking ourselves to get some sources to interview, and because it was just an exercise, we skipped that part in practice. Now we're actually going to pursue 2 sources. So I'm asking you further on the assignment sheet to contact at least 2 real-life interview sources. Not from the internet, not from a newspaper, but 2 actual people. So let's agree that these people will not be your closest relative, your closest roommate, a person who's right next to you, because that is super convenient and less attractive, less informative. But rather go out of your comfort zone, approach someone who's not your immediate relative or neighbor, and talk to someone new. So these news sources, you can get their names from a newspaper. Don't confuse getting a name from a newspaper with getting a quote from a newspaper. You can look up on the internet, you can look for information on the internet and pinpoint an official, an expert, a medical doctor, a teacher, a volunteer. So anyone whose name is in the media is more likely to be open to be interviewed again. And if you contact that person, first of all, how do you find out their contact information? You just Google search them or look in phone books. In the past, we used to have paper phone books. Now we have electronic versions of that. So just look for them. And if you find the name of a person who's acted as a source in a newspaper article, who has been interviewed for another piece on a similar topic with yours, it's easy to imagine that the person will be available to give you some information as well, because those people are already friendly. So a friendly source can be already mentioned in a newspaper article, somewhere else in an electronic or paper version of a publication, and you can use their name, you can look up their phone contact information, you can call their workplace if these are let's say professionals. Let's say you're talking about COVID-19 in Oneonta and you want to speak with a healthcare worker. You can just pick up the phone and call up Well Now, or you can pick up the phone and call Bassett, or you can pick up the phone and call SUNY Oneonta and ask to speak to a representative, a spokesperson, usually a person who represents an institution or organization or business, goes by spokesperson, regardless of their official title. So just call up that person, have a notepad ready, or if you have a recording device, your phone or something else, just use that to write down, to record whatever the person says. And that will be the source, that will be the information that you will use in your newspaper, in your journalistic story. So here's a secret. We're not going to use the entire interview because the entire interview is not as informative as a story you can write in an inverted pyramid style. The inverted pyramid, please refer to the lecture, the PowerPoint's titled Inverted Pyramid. The inverted pyramid is a very concrete way of organizing a story, as we said, going from the most important elements of it to the least important. However, when you talk to people, when you interview people, you do not structure your conversation from the most important to the least important. You start with the most obvious, you start with the general, and then go into specifics, or some other way, but it is definitely not structured as an inverted pyramid. Your conversation with a person will likely be structured like a river, or like a straight line, or an avenue. It doesn't have to be a pyramid. It will be like a road. Hi, how are you? Thank you for agreeing to speak with me. May I take notes? May I record this interview? Ask permission before you tape anything. Explain that you're recording this for your notes. You're not going to broadcast any of their comments because we're not working in a broadcast medium. Also, be truthful. You remember the lecture on interviews. It's up here on Blackboard. You have to be completely honest about your intentions and your task and the place where this will be used. Just say, I'm working on my course assignment and I'm interested in this. If it becomes a brilliant, wonderful story, then we might think about sharing it with an audience, but most likely not, because people are sensitive about publicizing their names, their comments. Sometimes they don't want to speak with a student and allowing them to broadcast a story. But if it's good, and if it's revised by an editor, if it's checked by an editor or me, and we think that everything is up to date, everything can go in the news, then why not? So maybe tell your source that this is for real. In some sense, you're doing a really good job. You're trying to do a good job. The intention is to submit this story as an assignment for your journalism class, period. Only in case it becomes outstanding and relevant and timely. Only in that case it will go into a real publication, online or otherwise, in which case maybe check with the source again and get their okay to publish their name. So when we get to that point, we'll talk about it more, and this is the ethics. But right now you can just say, I'm working on a course assignment. It's my local story assignment. I want to do this on such and such topic, and I thought that you have something informative that my my teacher, my audience would appreciate. So the writing style is Associated Press. That's why we have the style books: AP style, grammar, punctuation, spacing, capitalization, usage, and abbreviations. Everything needs to be checked against the AP style book. Luckily, the style book is alphabetized, so you use it like a dictionary. If you're doing something, let's say you want to put the date or you want to put a place name, go to the appropriate section of the book and look how it's written. So the format, somebody asked, if I don't want PDF, what kind of format do I want? Please use Word format, 12 font size, double space, and do not submit anything in Pages or even a PDF. I need to be able to write on your story. I need to be able to write my comments on your page. So I heard from a number of students who said that they only have Pages on their computers, and Word is unavailable to them. So what do we do if we don't have Word? We ask IT. We ask IT to give us the software for a lower price or for free, because you're college students, you are entitled. But I don't think it should be such a problem. You know, you're in college now and there must be a way of getting Word. I think you can get reimbursed for Word through your college money, your college loans or grants, financial aid. But I would suggest checking with IT and checking with the financial aid office, because nowadays a lot of things that we do as in our distance learning mode, a lot of things will require software, and I want you to be proactive, knowing your needs and expressing that need. Word is the first thing that a student needs. You cannot be in college and not have words. Pages actually is a layout program. Pages is a great program on Macintosh, but it's meant to create a newsletter or an invitation or a poster. It's not meant to create a word processing document. So Pages is not meant for our purposes. A PDF is good, but it's a hassle for me to download and to try and comment on it. So please get Word and use Word. Okay, so if you have any other questions about the assignment, please let me know. 500 words you should be able to measure. If you're using a word processing software, it should allow you to measure the words, but I think it's just a page and a half or a page. If you're using 12 point fonts, yeah, Times New Roman. It should be Times New Roman, but you can use something else. 12 point, double space between lines, so that I can put my comments there and you can see. And that's it. 500 words. 2 sources. From your 2 sources, you can pull 2 or 3 quotes. I don't need too many quotes. And right after we finish talking here, I'm going to post a couple of examples that you can model your work against those examples, just looking at their structure. So don't look at their topic, look at the structure and how many quotes they're using and how they space their quotes and how they punctuate that quotes. You know, sometimes learning is much easier when you look at an example than just knowing the rules. So my advice to you overall, to summarize, read good media, read good journalism, and then you'll know what your story should look like. Okay, feel free to ask me questions, especially on weekdays. Make appointments to talk to me during office hours, and best of luck on your first writing assignment.